Here is another one of the best ways to make a lot of money. Now, I've talked about sales. In fact, I've made 4 videos teaching you guys how to sell like pros, but there is another way to make lots of money that I have forgotten about, and that is cold emailing. And what this means is an email used to market or introduce a brand to a prospect who has no prior relationship with you or the company. Now, some people argue and say this is the best job in the world because you can write one email and send it to hundreds of people around the world. So it's definitely a time freedom job, meaning the amount of money you get paid does not depend on the hours you work, but it depends on the level of skill you have with cold emailing. Now, if you're good at it, people will pay you millions for this because people need marketers, and the most simple way to market is a plain, simple, white background, black text email. It's professional and everyone uses email. It's just one of those things that email's been around for so long and it's still just as popular to this day. Now that you know what a cold email is and why the job pays so well, I'm quickly going to run through the basics of how to write an efficient cold email so prospects are interested in your product or the business you work for's product, whatever one it is, whether you're an entrepreneur or you just work for an entrepreneur. Firstly, you need an attractive subject line, the little sentence above the actual email. Now, you got to make sure it doesn't sound too salesy, too scammy in a way, but it also makes sure it hooks the prospect in with curiosity. Next, moving on to the actual email. Now, we want to break this down into 4 sections. Number 1 being the intro. Here is where you want to relate to the prospect and say something that connects with them so you have that automatic bond with them. Do your research in the prospect to figure out what this could be and give them a compliment to show that the email is not just automated, written by an emotionless robot, but instead a personalized message written by a loving human. Number 2, the second section is where you need to be pointing out a pain, a struggle that the prospect is going to. This could be a challenge that they're facing, that they're conscious of, or the complete opposite, something that they could be doing better, but they're not conscious of. They don't realize that this part of their business or lifestyle could be done better. Section 3, give them the solution, including people you've worked with in the past and how you've solved their exact problems as what the prospect, your current present day prospect, is facing today. And at number 4, finally, we have the call to action. This is where you tell the prospect to email you back, to call you, tell you when you're free, when you've got a free schedule, whatever it is, but only pick one, and I'll explain why in a separate video. But yeah, I will definitely be making multiple videos on all these sections and the subject lines and the techniques and tips in further detail. I know this is a really short video, but I just wanted to briefly go over the basics. This is just an introduction video so you guys can understand what cold emails are, because I'd assume a lot of people out there haven't even heard of a cold email, didn't even know you can make money off writing emails. So that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching the video. I hope this has helped. And yeah, take care and peace. Best job in the world because you can write one email and send it to hundreds of people around the world. So it's definitely a time freedom job, meaning the amount of money you get paid does not depend on the hours you work, but it depends on the level of skill you have with cold emailing. Now, if you're good at it, people will pay you millions for this because people need marketers, and the most simple way to market is a plain, simple, white background, black text email. Right, welcome to my first full guide on how to write the perfect cold email. Now, as this is the first guide, we're going to be talking about the first step, which is the subject line. This is the little title above the actual email that most of the time sort of sums up what the email is going to be about. And this is arguably the most important part of the email as a whole, because the subject line is what makes the prospect click on the email to read in the first place. And it's like the YouTube title and thumbnail. Yes, the YouTube video as a whole is important, but the YouTube title and thumbnail is what makes the viewer click on the video in the first place. Like a YouTube title and thumbnail for each video, you can only use one subject line for each email, but there are 4 different types of subject lines you can use. The first one being the desired outcome subject line, and this is where you title the email about something the prospect wants, like for example, helping your team accomplish 7 figures. Anything to make the prospect go, oh, I do want my business to reach 7 figures. Let me see what this email and this person has to offer me. Coming up second, we have the paying subject line. So instead of telling the prospect what you can give them, point out a problem that the prospect is going through. For example, tired of your Facebook ads not being efficient. This will make the prospect realize that this is a big problem, and if they were to fix this problem, they would make so much more progress in their business so much quicker. So they'll do anything to get rid of this problem, meaning that they will for sure be reading your email, as they will be pretty desperate to. Thirdly is the reference subject line, where you congratulate or compliment the prospect on something they've done. For instance, congrats on your promotion, or enjoyed the interview last night. Whatever it is, because you are being nice to them, the prospect will assume that the email sent by you is in their favor. Plus, it's so easy to get far in life just being kinder to people. And finally, the fourth one is the short subject line, such as quick question, or something even as simple as hey, something you don't think would actually work because it's just so short and so generic. But just like YouTube titles, sometimes the shorter they are, the better, because it means you're just getting straight to the point. And this is what a lot of business people and prospects want. They just want direct, straightforward, what do you want? And that's why these subject lines can be really efficient. Now, make sure to definitely play around with all these different types and sizes of subject lines to see which ones work the best for you and work best for, what you're offering the prospect. Also, make sure they don't seem too scammy, or people will just report them as spam, and no one will ever read your emails in the first place if they haven't even got past clicking on the email, reading the subject line. Having the prospect's name in the email as well could be quite effective, because it seems more personalized, more real, and not as fake, like automated robot, you know what I mean? And yeah, that is my first full guide on how to write the perfect cold email. Next, we'll be talking about the first paragraph the client will read after opening your email because of your amazing subject line you've learned from this video. But to get a quick run through of the basics of writing a cold email, where I explain what it is, what to write in it, and why the job as a whole pays so well, check out the video on screen now. It's a really good one, and it teaches you what it is, basically. Thank you both for watching as always, and peace. Bye-bye. Right, the second part to my series of how to write the perfect cold email. Now we're going to be talking about the relevant intro, aka the first paragraph. To quickly recap what this is, because this is the first bit of the email that the prospect is going to read, it's basically just a positive compliment or congratulations relevant to the prospect. Now you're going to have to do a tiny little bit of research about the prospect to know what to compliment or congratulate them on. For example, this could be their team, their product, their social media page, I don't know, anything that links with business and links with what you're advertising them. You've got to make it short and sweet also, nothing too over the top and cheesy. I'm not trying to dick ride them or anything. You're just trying to create a small bond between the two of you, so you both will be more likely to fit and work together. So my example of a relevant intro could be, hey John, just checked out your recent YouTube video on cold emailing. I thought it was great. That's literally it. Very, very simple, and just like that we come to the end of the video already. Went quick, didn't it? Go check out part 1 and the introduction video on cold emailing if you haven't already yet, on screen now. Thank you boys for watching as always, and peace. Bye-bye. Part 3 of how to write the perfect cold email. Now we move on to the second paragraph, being the pain, and this is where I point out a challenge or a struggle to the prospect that they either have or haven't realized. First, politely point out the current struggle linked with what you have to offer, and then make it seem like a big deal, telling the prospect why it's so bad and why solving the problem will actually help them so much. And after doing all that, it may sound a little something like this. After watching your video, I checked out your website and realized you weren't running any ads. With all the high quality YouTube content you've been putting out recently, it's surprising you haven't started to advertise your videos to capture more organic traffic to your website and YouTube channel. A little lengthy, but yeah, it does the trick. And obviously this is just my example, so if you have something else to offer in your business that's not advertisement and marketing, just switch the words around a little, take words out, put words in, and it will still work the same. And if you're able to shorten the cold email, shorten the example I've just given you, great, do that, because most of the time when you send your cold email in to get reviewed by a pro copywriter or cold emailer, right, they'll most of the time tell you to just take a bunch of words out, because most of the time you're waffling, and the shorter your email is the better, because naturally, especially in these days with fucking TikTok and all this shit, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, all this bullshit, right? People's attention spans are really small, so the shorter the email is, the better. To check out the rest of my cold emailing videos to know how to write the rest of the cold email, they're all on screen now. Go check them out. They're really good videos. Thank you all for watching as always, and peace. Bye-bye. Fourth part to writing the perfect cold email. Now, I'm pretty sure we're halfway through, so now we move on to the third paragraph, which is the solution paragraph, where we tell the prospect how we can actually fix their problems and help them out. Please do not make this email too needy and salesy. Obviously, that's not what people want to hear, but at the same time, you have to be persuasive, but in a way that's like calm and relaxed. Making the offer so simple, it would be silly for them not to take it. Also telling the prospect other people you've worked with in the past, so it makes the prospect more interested in you and have more trust for you. And once you combined all of these skills together, it should come out like this. Now, if you're interested, my company helps content creators like yourself start growing at a high rate with personalized ads. And best of all, we handle all the tech and content management, making this extremely simple for you. Some of our clients include whoever. And that's it. And if you've just heard that example out of context and you're looking for the other paragraphs because I've just apparently skipped straight to the third, I haven't. That just means you haven't watched the rest of my cold emailing videos on screen now. Watch those for sure if you definitely want to become the best cold emailer around. Thank you both for watching as always, and peace. Bye-bye. The final section of a cold email is the call to action, and that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video today. And as it's the last part of the email that the prospect reads, it's your time and it's your goal to book a call with them or schedule some sort of meeting with them. And the way you do this is to make them so curious with the solution section of the cold email that the call to action section makes them not being able to resist working with you. Keeping curiosity in mind while writing the call to action, it should turn out like this. So if you're interested in learning more about how we can get you more organic traffic, let us know what your calendar looks like. Thanks, and then tell them your name. Short and straight to the point. Now, after all of that, if they don't respond to your email, make sure to follow up 3 times every 2 days, because yeah, there's a chance they could be ignoring you, but there's also a chance that they might have generally just not seen your email. And yeah, the more you follow up, obviously, the more chance of them seeing your email. But 3 times is just enough to not come across as too needy and salesy. And just be polite in the follow-up. Just be polite and remind them to book a call, tell you when they're free, so you can see if the prospect and you are a good fit with working together. Hopefully now you've watched all of my videos on how to write a cold email. My last video is going to be a tips and tricks video, just going over extra info and techniques to use to maximize your cold email copywriting skills to make the email perfect. Thank you boys for watching as always, and peace. Bye-bye. My final cold emailing video to make sure that you are one of the best, hopefully making millions one day. Now I'm going to be going over 5 extra tips and tricks you can follow to maximize your copywriting skills. First being to replace the word I with we and you whenever you can, because the email isn't about you, it's obviously about the prospect. And if they get the wrong idea and think, oh, you're just making it all about you, then they will not be interested at all. Secondly, there are no long-term rules, so keep testing different subject lines and cold emails. Don't just use the same format of words every time. Find multiple formats of words that work best for you. Now, thirdly, once you finish writing the email, read it out to yourself, read it out loud to yourself, and think to yourself, is this an email that prospects are actually going to take interest in? If not, if you don't think it is, go back to the drawing board, try again, maybe shorten it, change some words, put some words in here and there. I don't know, anything to make it sound smoother and quicker. Make sure it's also able to be read in under 60 seconds, because the shorter the better, like I've just said. If it takes like 5 minutes to read, people are gonna doze off, not be interested. Just mark your fucking email as spam probably. So make sure it can be read in under 60 seconds. It's always good to send an email when your prospect wakes up or maybe before they go to bed, because these are the times that a prospect is usually gonna check their email for either the first time or the last time of the day. So coming up at number 4, try to send your emails around either 7 a.m. or 8 p.m. Timing your emails is also something you could play around with to see what times get the best responses. And finally, at number 5, get a copywriter to review your email for you and give you feedback on how you can improve it. Or if you can't do that, get AI to give you feedback for you. There's many different free AI bots out there that you can use for feedback. You can even get ChatGPT to write it all for you and then like change it a little bit to make it seem more personalized to the prospect and more human. And yes, this is the final episode of my small series. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode and the whole series. I hope this has helped you out to make you write the perfect cold email. Now, if you haven't watched the rest of the episodes and just decided to just skip all the way to the final one, it doesn't work like that, buddy. You got to watch all the videos individually to get all the value out of the whole series. Obviously, I mean, that's input equals output, buddy. Come on, I've talked about this before. But now, before I end the video, I'm actually going to combine all my examples of a cold email and combine them into one so you can hear the perfect cold email. Thank you boys for watching, as always. And peace. Goodbye. Hey John, just checked out your recent YouTube video on cold emailing. I thought it was great. After watching your video, I checked out your website and realized you weren't running any ads. With all the high quality YouTube content you've been putting out recently, it's surprising you haven't started to advertise your videos to capture more organic traffic to your website and YouTube channel. Now, if you're interested, my company helps content creators like yourself start growing at a high rate with personalized ads. And best of all, we handle all the tech and content management, making this extremely simple for you. Some of our clients include whoever. So if you're interested in learning more about how we can get you more organic traffic, let us know what your calendar looks like. Thanks, and then tell them your name.